Hey guys, it's Kara from iStampin.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I have this really pretty card using some retired products that will be hard to make. Just, oh gosh. Hey guys, it's Kara from iStampin.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I've got a really simple card for you using some retiring products as well as some items that are going to be carrying over to the new catalog. This is really a very simple card to make, and I purposefully did not put a sentiment on here just so this will allow you to use it for a variety of occasions. This is actually a card that I saw at Onstage. One of my friends did a swap and I was able to look through her cards, and I saw this one and I thought this was a really pretty design. So this is not a case, but I made some subtle changes to it. I wish I knew who to give credit to. I did not look on the back to see, so I apologize for that. So if this is your card, thank you. But I want to show you how I made this. And let me show you the products that you're going to need first, and then we'll get started. So for the inks, I have pulled out Sahara Sand, Old Olive, and Sweet Sugar Plum. This is one of the retiring in colors, and as of today, which is Wednesday, April the 18th, the Sweet Sugar Plum products have not sold out, but that's not to say that it won't be selling out quickly, so just be aware of that. For the stamp pads, or for the stamp sets, excuse me, I'm using Wild About Flowers and Postscript. Wild About Flowers is one of the retiring stamp sets, and it's still available. You will need to pull out your Lots of Labels framelits, so we'll be using these with the Big Shot. And then this is a embossing folder from our Occasions catalog. This is the Scattered Sequins 3D Dynamic Texture Impressions embossing folder. So it's one of the thick ones. This is a really pretty subtle sequin background that I used on the card. You can see that here in the background. This is carrying over, so that is not retiring. And then for cardstock, what you will need to do is you'll need Whisper White. I'm using thick Whisper White, Old Olive, Sweet Sugar Plum, and then Shimmery White. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And then for adhesive, you'll just need Snail and Stampin' Dimensionals, and then also your basic pearls. So I have already cut, embossed, and die cut most of our items just to make this a little bit easier, quicker. So we're going to start off with thick Whisper White. This is 8.5 by 5.5. Get out your Simply Scored scoring board, and let's score this at 4 1/4. So fold it on the score line, and let's go ahead and burnish it with our bone folder. The next thing you're going to do is go ahead and cut a piece of Old Olive cardstock. This is just 1/4 inch smaller, so this is 4 by 5 1/4, and we can go ahead and adhere this to our card base using Snail. On my blog post today, I will link an updated retirement list, the PDF version of it, so that you can either print it off or you can go through and see which items have sold out. All right, so the next thing I've done is I've cut this to 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this is 3 7/8 by 5 3/8, and I've gone ahead and already embossed it, like I said, using the Scattered Sequins embossing folder. So you'll just want to put your plain piece of Sweet Sugar Plum cardstock in the embossing folder. Make sure it's lined up straight. Just run this through the Big Shot. When you use the thicker embossing folders, you don't need a bottom plate. So you'll just put your regular platform, your base platform, in your Big Shot, lay this on top, and then an acrylic plate on top of this folder. And so this is what it's going to look like when you emboss it. And we'll go ahead and adhere that to the front of this panel on top of Old Olive. Okay, and let's put this off to the side, and now we can do our stamping. So what I have done is I have taken the largest Lots of Labels framelit, and I've die cut that out on shimmery white cardstock. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to have the label in vertical, and we're going to do our stamping. So we are going to be using the Postscript background stamp. This is a really pretty stamp, and it's a large stamp, so it looks like this. And I am going to ink this up in Sahara Sand. I'm going to stamp off first, and then I will stamp onto the label. And I found it was easier to die cut the label first than to stamp everything and then die cut it out. And so when it's a large stamp like this, definitely lay it upside down and bring the ink pad to the stamp. And then what I am going to do is just take a old piece of my grid paper and just place it on here. And I'm just going to pat just to take some of that ink off. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to lay the label onto the pad, try to get it as straight as possible, and then again just gently tap. This is just a subtle background. You don't really want to be able to see it, and mine's a little it's a little blurry. I didn't do a very good job. I kind of smeared it, but that's okay. It's a background, doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out our Stampin' Pierce mat, because the next stamps we're going to be using are photopolymer. So again, this is Wild About Flowers. We're going to be using this image right here, and then this little cluster of flowers. And I'm going to stamp the stem and leaves in Old Olive. So I'm just going to stamp it right here in the middle. Okay, and then let's bring in Sweet Sugar Plum. And here is a little cluster of flowers. And the clearance rack has been updated, so be sure to check that out. There are some really, really awesome deals on the clearance rack, like spools of ribbon for like $2, gems for $2. I mean, there's some great deals. So definitely, if you like to bargain shop, you'll definitely want to check out the clearance rack. It's while supplies last, so I would presume that those items aren't going to last very long. All right, so I'm just taking the smallest pearls, and I am just placing them in the center of the flowers. If I can grab it. And I'm using my paper piercer to do this. And then I am going to use dimensionals, and we are going to pop this up on the card, and we will be all done. And this is a large label, so you want to give it some good support. Put one here in the middle and one down here. And I did a Facebook Live yesterday of a walkthrough of all of the items that I received at Onstage, the new catalog items, as well as my pre-order. So if you want to take a look at those items, you can head on over to my YouTube channel. I just titled it Stampin' Up! Catalog Haul. So you can see I show off the new in colors and compare them to existing colors and some of the color revamp colors. So really, really fun. And there you go, guys. Isn't that beautiful? So like you can't even, I don't even notice the background stamp being blurry. So again, let me bring in my first one, wherever that is. So here's the first one that I made. So just really, really pretty, using Sweet Sugar Plum, which is one of our retiring in colors, along with Postscript and Wild About Flowers. So Wild About Flowers is going to be retiring. All right, guys, well, I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as head on over to my blog, istampin.com, and sign up for my newsletter so that you can get exclusive news, what's going on in my business. And if you have any questions, be sure to comment below. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.